What's up guys, welcome back to yet another video on my channel. This time around I'm going to give you a full guide about heavily restricted. I'll show you the best builds, accessories, magics, races, how to get divine restriction, and lastly a quick little showcase with my own personal build. This one is going to be a long one as usual. Timestamps are in the description. Before we begin, if you have any suggestions, leave them down below in the comments. Subscribe if you like Clover Retribution content. Now, first things first, what does Heavenly Restricted even do? You get minus 80% mana in exchange for 15 strength, 15 dex, 15 con, and 50% bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage. This at first sounds pretty alright, but nothing too special. Now it gets seriously good when you progress this trait to Divine Restriction, taking 100% of your mana in exchange for free weapon skills that require no mana, 5 more strength and dex, 30% more bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage, 20% more health, plus 4 speed, fall damage immunity, and dashes where you teleport. This does not override the time magic dashes, so if you have time equipped, you still have the time dashes instead of these ones. And then you're also allowed to use Mauler, Swordsman, and Spearman classes with their respective skills at the same time. Now, these are a lot of buffs, and with the new skill they introduced, this trait is absolutely peak, with low investment at the same time. That out of the way, how do you progress this trait? Firstly, you have to reach level 250. This is an absolute must. The other prerequisite is to have had this trait for 8 hours and 20 minutes total. This does not mean you have had to be in game for these 8 hours and 20 minutes. It just means you have had it equipped for 8 hours and 20 minutes total. Once these conditions are met, you can progress the trait by defeating Apex. Now, when you kill random mobs such as Venom, you have a 20% chance for a message to appear. It's gonna say someone has placed a bounty on your head or something like that. I'm gonna try to get it to appear real quick. All right, finally we got it. As you can see, somebody put a price on my head. All right, now that we got the message, once you get it, Apex will spawn behind you in 10 to 20 minutes. If you're in a party, he will despawn instantly. These 10 to 20 minutes are only when you're heavenly restricted. Once you're divinely restricted, I suppose, we only have to wait 5 to 10 minutes for him to spawn each time, meaning only the first time, or when it's unprogressed, then it's gonna be a little bit longer. You can be prepared to kill this dude often because he drops quite a bit of stuff. Now, for the first time you spawn him, you have to get at least 30% damage for it to progress your trait. Of course, if you die, you can just respawn him until you kill him successfully. There's 3 ways to kill him. The first one is to just face him head on and try your best once he spawns randomly. For me, it's easy right now because I have my stuff already and I'm trained, but I don't recommend this. The second way is to stand here and timestamp, just like me right now, and look to this direction. That way when he spawns behind you in this house right here. This works for every house that looks like this or something like this. Once he's inside, you can just turn around and attack him. He's going to bug out a few times if you're unlucky, so just be patient. Ideally, you want to hit him so that he's in the center. But the third way that you can kill him is by getting another player to do it with you. This can only work if the other player also has Divine Restriction or Heavenly Restricted. And this can only be done if you actually have Divine Restriction yourself, because you can only progress your trait with your own Apex. For the drops, however, it doesn't matter. For this one, someone gets the bounty and stands on top of a door or a house and keeps blocking while the other one kills the Apex. As I said, the second way is probably the easiest way, but all of them are kind of tedious. If you defeat Apex on your own for the first time, you have to rejoin once for the trait to be progressed. It doesn't show up on the home screen, but you'll know once your mana bar is empty, just like me right now. It is 100% worth it as well because of what you can drop. With a 35% chance, you can drop an Apex token used to exchange them for items, which I'll show you in a bit. It can drop 3 more items with a 2% chance each, making it 6% in total. Them being an armor, a title, and a sword. Those 3 are very, very good for Divine Restriction and pretty much regular pieces in your build if you're not doing anything weird, just like me right now. Generally, you want all of these items before you go for anything else. If you're not so lucky, you can also get these items by exchanging your tokens for them. It's going to be 5 tokens for the sword, 5 tokens for the Shroud of the Strongest, and 10 tokens for the title, making the title probably the most important thing you want to get. You can also get a different sword from Apex. This one costs 16 tokens, the Soul Splitter Katana. If you ask me, however, this one is practically useless because it scales weirdly, and unless you sacrifice a lot of HP/con, you won't be able to unlock its full potential. Maybe this one has use if you get 20 fingers Ryomen, because you get more HP/damage, but that's just a hypothetical. Now then, there's this move that is a must-have for any Divine Restriction user. It's called World Slasher. As you can see, I have it right now. He sells this one for 200k gold, no tokens required. Like, this is a must-have. You definitely need this skill. I also forgot to show you guys where to get the items or where to exchange the tokens. You can do so if you go to the desert, and then in this cave right here, to the right side, to the right direction, going up a little bit, and then he's gonna hide himself or be hidden pretty well. You just talk to him, and then I'm looking to buy. He's going to be showing you only the things that you can still get and not the things that you already bought. Finally, Apex spawned, and then there's gonna be this message right there. Yeah, you just hit him right here. Like, keep him in the center. If he goes to the left, you hit him to the right, and if he goes to the right, you hit him to the left. And then, yeah, that's gonna be all for this fight. You know, it's pretty straightforward. Just keep him in the wall. He's not gonna hit you, but as I said, he might bug out a few times, so just keep that in mind. Now, before I get into anything else, let me tell you the best races/magics to play alongside Divine Restriction. For magics, there are only 3 usable options. All of them are alright, but if I had to say, I'd say World Tree is the worst, Sand is the second best, and the best one is Sunshine Magic. World Tree gives you a shield that when popped, which is basically always when hit because it has no HP since it scales with int, plants a landmine of sorts and does damage. Sand gives you plus 15 DR/damage reduction, which is pretty cool. And then Sunshine is where it's at. You get 25% damage reduction and 15% more damage during the day, which is really good. All in all, to have a good magic isn't a necessity for DR, merely a way to max out DR. And then for races, I'll only go through the good ones, meaning less than epic I won't go over. Ryomen is probably the best one to go with, giving you more slashing damage in con. Unfortunately, you can't use its abilities, but it's alright. If you can upgrade it to 5 fingers, 10 fingers, 15 fingers, or 20 fingers, it gets exponentially better each time, making 20 Devil Fingers Ryomen the best race for DR. If you want to know how to get Devil Fingers, watch my devil farming guide or look it up on the Trello. Ancient Werewolf is fine. Legendary Kantari is fine as well. Kantari is good. High Orc is good. Werewolf is too. If you don't have any of these options, you can also go for Lycan, Lethari, Mahari, Dreadscale, or Stonekin. These aren't optimal races, but DR is fortunately not that dependent on them anyway. Now for armor inside of the game, this is probably what you want to have. I'm currently running a damage build, which means I switched Shroud of the Strongest for Gorgon Champion armor that you can craft with 10 Gorgon tokens, sacrificing a bunch of HP for the sake of doing a little bit more damage, because I think doing more damage is the way to go, and as long as you're above 5k HP, just like me right now, I have around 5.4k. If I had Shroud of the Strongest, I'd have around 6k, but you shouldn't run into any significant problems either way. The usual build consists of Shroud of the Strongest, Divine Nullifier, and the title. Those are dropped from Apex. For the headpiece, it's gonna be Clover Lieutenant Helmet dropped from the Clover Capital raid. The Knight's Helmet is also fine, however. For the shoulders, you want the Aetherstone Pauldrons dropped from the Golem, or the ones from the Capital raid is also going to be okay. The Blighted ones might be solid for the niche Soul Splitter build as well, but the chest is going to be bandoliers that you can craft / get from wolf hunters. Waist is going to be the Halloween lamp or the Maelstrom Vessel Light. Either one is fine, it doesn't matter for DR. Weapon you want Divine Nullifier, If you have the craftable Severance of Sin Devil sword thingy, that might be better under certain circumstances, but I haven't had the chance to try it out yet, so I'm just gonna go with Divine Nullifier. You can play Soul Splitter Katana as well, but that is for an extremely niche build. Earrings should be the Kraken ones that you can buy with 5 tokens from Orion. The necklace should be the Arcane Locket or the Lesser Fire Amulet that drops from Red, or the Witch's Necklace if you have that one. There's no difference for regular DR users, so Red's necklace should be enough. The back piece should be the Old Adventurer's Cape, giving you 12 con. That drops from the Corrupted Ice Golem. The other cape, the Coat Cape, should be fine as well. But if you don't have these, you can also opt for the Alpha Wolf Scarf, but I would definitely recommend to farm the Ice Golem. Yeah, the rings are the Venom rings, but they make no difference if you have them or not for DR users, unless you're playing around with the stats. Yeah, and that's that. Stats, however, that's what I want to go over as well. Right now I have 210 dexterity, 35 strength, 29 intelligence, and 414 con. Why I have 210 dexterity is because I have Ryomen, which goes up to 213, but if I go any higher than 210, I lose the Sentinel buff from the con. That means I don't have enough con just yet with my build, but it's fine, it's all right. Usually when you have Ryomen, you want to go up to 213 dex. If you don't have Ryomen, it's gonna be 19 less than that. So it's gonna be 194 that you can put into dex until you're capped out. You know, for me personally, now we're on to the showcase portion of the video. I personally have 5 fingers right now, used already. And then obviously I have the Gorgon Champion armor giving me a little bit more damage. As you can see, it has 5% all damage increase and gives me a little bit of con and 15 dex. Alright, so we found a devil. We'll just see how this goes and how much damage we do. I'm definitely interested in how much it's gonna do. I don't think we can one-shot it though. I don't think we have the facilities for that. We might need more dex for that, like 375 dex for a one-shot on the devil. And then you also have to be lucky that he doesn't have a lot of con, but we'll see about that. Okay, this is without devil. 156, which is not bad actually, because devils have like an innate resistance to damage. So it does make sense that we do a little less. I'm not sure, because sometimes they don't have that resistance. Like during the fight, it just goes off. But I genuinely don't have a clue. Like I genuinely don't know. Alright. Yeah, see now, I think it's a little more. I'm not sure though. Yeah, but as you can see, guys, it's taken me three times of dodging the meteors, and then he's dead instantly. You know, with Shroud of the Strongest, you probably could do that as well, but with this one, I think it's a little bit faster. No, just generally, it's just a little bit faster. It's not a huge damage difference to have that armor or not. So yeah, and then it's a devil horn. All right, so that's a devil, guys. You saw the devil fight just now. I'm doing quite a bit of damage, obviously, DR. I still am not maxed out, and I'm already holding up pretty well with other people. I think it's still not as good as a proper light build or a proper dark build, but everything up until that point, DR is really on a really good path, and 2 more skills are coming out. And I think especially if you're trying to get a good magic, until you have that good magic, I would just play Divine Restriction and then go for something else. Other than that, yeah, I think that's what you want to look for. That's what you want to do. But yeah, that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'll try to help. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.